Hello friends, let's begin. AICC General Secretary and MP, Mrs. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, will address you and then take 3 or 4 questions. Hello? Priyanka.
First of all, I would like to say that what happened yesterday was a huge victory for democracy. The government's conspiracy to alter the federalism and welfare structure and weaken democracy was defeated. It was stopped. This was a victory for the Constitution, a victory for the country, and a victory for the opposition. You must have seen it clearly reflected on the faces of the ruling party leaders. Look, I was listening to the speeches of the Home Minister and the Prime Minister. Several times on different occasions, both of them said in their speeches that if you don't agree with this, you can never sit here. You can never come to power. You can never win. And this made it very clear what their intentions were. We were all a little surprised that this session was being called. The legislative assemblies were in session. It was being called suddenly. In 2 states, there was a lot of haste. No one knew what was coming until a day before what will be in the draft. They make the draft public just a day before, so we don't have time. So we've all been wondering what's going on and why. I think it's all a conspiracy. A conspiracy to stay in power somehow. If it's not done now, the delimitation they're trying to do by 2029, based on the 2011 census, won't be completed. So to achieve all this, we need to make a plan for how we can stay in power permanently. And how can we do it? We can use women to bring in reservations for women. If they agree and it's passed, then on one hand, we'll do it. On the other hand, we'll have complete freedom to manipulate the seats, You can delimit the seats in any way you like, If it's based on the 2011 census, they won't have to even consider the caste census. So it's clear that they thought, if it's passed, we'll become the messiahs of women. If not, then by calling other parties anti-women in front of every leader, you are women. We know that becoming the messiah of women isn't so easy. You have to demonstrate it. There's a history. The Congress Party has a history. The opposition parties have a history. The BJP has a history regarding women, and that history is very clear. You're standing up and saying the opposite in the House. Doesn't make any difference. Women are watching. They saw Uno. They saw Hathras. They saw the Olympic athletes. They were sitting on the streets in Delhi. Who asked them? They saw the women in Manipur. Who asked? And today you're standing in parliament and saying we want to be the messiahs of women. So it's very clear that this wasn't about the women's reservation bill. It was about delimitation, and they had to do delimitation on a basis that didn't require them to look at cash data and gave them complete rate as they pleased. So that was simply not possible. I'm very happy that you and the country have seen how they are defeated when the opposition unites. Someone asked me on my arrival that it's a black day. You're calling this government a black day. It's a black day for them because for the first time, they've suffered a setback, which they deserved. The problems of today's women are increasing exponentially. The struggle is growing. Women aren't fools. They see everything. That PR media game won't work anymore. If you want to do something concrete, bring back the bill that was passed unanimously in 2023. All parties supported it. If you need to make a few minor amendments to it so it can be implemented now, do it and implement it now. Akalai, give women their rights, give them their rights now, but don't. It's simple. Do it now. We're all ready. Now you ask.
My question to you is this. After this bill was defeated, the government has been repeatedly saying that Rahul Gandhi said on the floor of the House that if the bill is to be passed, then in the current circumstances, you should pass it in 1 second based on the existing seats of 543. So will the opposition be ready for that? You mentioned the 2023 bill, but if the current seats are 543, then the...
Boom. 2023 bill that was passed stated that 33% of these seats would be given to women.
It also stated that delimitation would occur after the census and then 1/3 of the seats would be decided. So, you ready for that?
Yes, absolutely ready.
Priyanka ji, we watched the debate for 2 days and now credit is being claimed from there. As well, you are also claiming it.
No, we are not claiming credit. The question is, we are telling you about history. The Congress Party started this initiative in 1928. And it was the Congress Party's initiative that gave women the right to vote and the right to vote in India from the very first day of independence.
So, madam, the question was, are the BJP and the NDA going to launch a nationwide campaign? You saw the demonstrations last evening. We saw demonstrations across the country by the BJP, and they're trying to portray the Congress and the India alliance as anti-women. Will you launch a campaign to counter this? What will be the Congress and India alliance's strategy to counter this? How will you take the messages you're saying to the common people?
Look, as I said, the people of this country have a great deal of wisdom. If they want a campaign, they should do so openly across the country. But today, the country is not in the same situation as it was 12 years ago. And perhaps sometimes when power increases, the people don't tell the truth to the leaders. So all that happened over the past 2 or 3 days, to some extent shows that they are unable to grasp that India has changed. The people of India are seeing it. They understand that the media hype, the PR hype, these big campaigns, the huge money invested in them are not working. This is no longer working. Yesterday, respected Amit Shah ji, was repeatedly saying, trust what we say, quota. No one is believing it. The real point is that public trust is eroding. So whatever you say, the public is not taking it at face value.
Priyanka ji, after what happened yesterday, the BJP is saying that they will launch a nationwide campaign to dub the entire opposition, including the Congress, as anti-women. And as you mentioned, Amit Shah ji also praised your political acumen in the Lok Sabha yesterday. So what would be your advice and, the campaign, the Congress plans to counter this campaign?
I think it's we are saying very, very clearly, and we will say this from every platform, we will say this in every state, not just the Congress Party, but every party of the India Alliance will say it very, very clearly. Bring that 2023 legislation which was passed, make whatever change you want to get it done by 2029, we will fully support it. We will say this again and again all over the country, and the Other point that I was making in Hindi earlier was that things have changed for this government. It's very visible from their actions. Firstly, they are under a lot of international pressure. It's very, very clear. A lot of the actions they are taking, I don't think, as my brother has said multiple times, any Indian Prime Minister would have accepted the terms of the deal that they have done with the US unless there was massive pressure. He is obviously under massive pressure. It is very obvious. So the public is seeing this. The public continues to suffer with multiple problems. The price of gas, the price of fruits, vegetables, everything has gone up. And especially, the burden of this is on the shoulders of women. And it's across class, across caste. It does not matter whether you are a rich woman, a poor woman, whether you live in an urban center, whether you live in the villages. Your problems are increasing. And there's nothing coming from the government to resolve them. So the public can see it. So, and here they can take their women's front of house all they want. They can make as much of a spectacle as they want out of. This country has now awakened to the fact that they do not stand by their words. They cannot be trusted, and certainly women cannot trust them, because we have seen their attitude and their behavior on multiple occasions. So I think it's very clear they can do what they like. The public is seeing everything very clearly, and the chronology of the last few days, the way they have brought this bill, the things they have attached to it, the delimitation, the 2011 census, it's very clear, is not going to be able to be passed. They just wanted the political credit. Simple as that.
Yes, I have many questions.
Do you have time?
Yes, yes.
It's Siddharth Pati's birthday, so please keep
Ma'am, this question is, he is a journalist. Ma'am, this is the question. Ma'am, the question is,
women's tax here.
okay, after this one, ma'am, the question is, you are saying that this women's reservation bill is just a shield. The ulterior motive is to get delimitation passed. There is still a need for the delimitation bill. Yesterday, Minister Kiran Rijiju said that the other two bills don't matter now. We'll put it up later. I am talking about delimitation. How will you advance this matter on that?
Our stand is very clear. The entire alliance has made its stand very clear. And this vote has made it even clearer that in our mindset, in our understanding, this bill that was introduced and the 3-day discussion was not about women's reservation. It was solely about delimitation, and we have all expressed our views very clearly on this. Oh.
Ma'am, sir, there are women here. She too, and I too. Ma'am, you said about 543 seats that if the government allocates all the existing seats, there's no provision for OBCs. There are provisions for SCs and STs, so
proper provisions be made for them as well. Why can't they?
And secondly, ma'am, to counter the government's narrative, since the government is saying they will take to the streets and fight this battle from parliament to the streets, does the Congress party have a similar thought process to take to the streets?
And if they do, did they have a plan in place? Perhaps this was also part of that plan. We defeated them in parliament yesterday. We will sit together today and think about what we need to do, and we will definitely do something.
Yes, Priyanka, the government's saying you are anti-women. You were saying that 33% on 543 seats. Wait a minute.
I am a girl and I can contest. I made 40% women contest in Uttar Pradesh. That is a different matter that only won.
That is a different matter, but you have set a system. But this was my question, that the fight is its place. Whether this law is implemented or not, can the oldest party of the country, Congress, be the first to do this? Can it announce that in the coming elections, we will give 33% reservation to women without any law?
See, our hope is that in the coming elections, 43% women will contest the elections. And we are saying again and again that bring the bill in, bring it again, we will pass it with you,
Today, the opposition is planning to write a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the implementation of this bill. But are you also going to mention about the OBC quota? Because already for SC/ST, there is a provision which is being passed, and for Muslim reservation also, it was being demanded by the Samajwadi Party. Are you also going to support that in this particular letter?
Look, the OBC quota, I think almost every speaker from the opposition has referred to it. We are all saying that if there are women's reservations, just like there will be 1/3 reservations in the ST and the SC, there has to be an OBC reservation which is commensurate to the number. That's it, you were saying it again and again.
Priyanka ji is asking something. Priyanka ji, my name was Vincent Manit by them.
Will you get a chance?
Priyanka ji, my name is Poonam and I am from Amar Ujala. Priyanka, my question is that delimitation was frozen until 2026. Now that delimitation has been reopened. Yeah. You said yesterday that the Women's Amendment Bill was not introduced because the delimitation was arbitrary. Now that delimitation is to happen, what format should that delimitation take in Congress's view, and what will Congress demand for it with Dadis?
We have repeatedly said that delimitation should first be conducted through a caste census before delimitation. It should be based on that. Look, they want to form a delimitation commission in which these three people will appoint their own people. They, just like they have formed all the other commissions, and captured them all. So how can we trust them? Have you seen what they have done in Assam and J&K during delimitation? Opposition party leaders have divided leads arbitrarily, In J&K, there are some seats where one part is on one side and the other on the other. Who can trust them just to maintain their power? The public is not trusting them. Are you saying that we should trust them?
Last but not least,
Priyanka ji, just as Indira Gandhi in 1971 thought that there should be no division between South India and North India, so she kept the same number of seats. Even in 2001, Atal Bihari Vajpayee also thought that there should be no division between South India and North India, so he also kept the number of seats frozen. So, will you demand that the government keep the number of seats at 543 and not increase it further, as Indira Gandhi and Atalya Gadinath ji said?
Look, there was a reason for the freeze on what Indira Gandhi and Atalji said and did. We are simply saying that if you want to change the proportions, if you want to increase the weight of some states, the smaller states in the south may say anything. We cannot trust their words. And if they do this, that they reduce the weight of the smaller states in the south, it will create a huge crisis in the country. So we cannot agree with this. So that's why we absolutely support the proposal remaining as it is. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Priyanka ji, you said the opposition has confidently said that democracy is in danger. So, I don't think so. Asking you, 2 years ago, the opposition's unity was visible in parliament, and after 2 years it has consistently wavered. This time, so don't you think the opposition also has a responsibility to bring this wavering situation together on one platform for a time, and then they get entangled in their own contradictions? So should this be considered a defining moment of emerging from this contradiction?
First of all, I think it should be considered so. Secondly, look, there are many parties in the opposition. In some states, we even contest the elections against each other. But if you've noticed, when the need arises, no one can question our unity. Yes, they saw how strong our unity is. So I cannot agree that our unity is in shambles.
My question is related to this only. It already has an answer, but it is related to this only. That do you think for the elections in states or at the center, this unity will be seen in fewer, as you've just mentioned, that this unity has only been able to defeat this government?
I think there are certain factors which are coming together at this point in India's history. As I said, one is the international pressure on the government, which is very visible by the actions they are taking, which are not necessarily in the interest of the nation. In fact, many of them are not. There is more stress on the people. Prices are rising. Other factors are coming into play. Prices are rising immediately. Difficulties are becoming greater. And I think that at this time, the opposition has shown its unity immediately. It's not just the fact that we're united as opposition, it's also the fact that there's, among people, they're fed up with lies, they're fed up with all this, I'm sorry to say, but they're seeing through a lot of media propaganda, they see through that as well. They're looking more toward finding out the truth. And I think of the opposition and the actions that we took yesterday in Parliament, we have stood for the truth. We have stood for the Constitution. We have stood for the nation. And we have stood as one. I think that this is a moment that we should all recognize. We all saw the faces of the top leaders of the BJP in Parliament. It was very clear from their expressions that this was a shock to them and that they were defeated for perhaps the first time in these 12 years. I think we should all accept that from now on, we will fight harder, we will stand together, and hopefully we will be able to push through much more than we do.
Priyanka ji, you said that if the 2023 bill is introduced, we will support it. But how will the seats for women be determined? Do you have any advice on this?
Now, whoever decides Shaya, they will make these efforts on their own. What advice can I give them? Ma'am, Amit Shah, ma'am, Amit Shah. Wait a minute, ma'am. Wait, ma'am. A minute. Amit Shah is saying, huh?
Modi ji is saying I come from the OBC and backward classes, the poor, the poor, the poor. When the reality is that even today, the population of SC/ST OBC is very high in the country. They're saying that is a black day. I am saying, wasn't this a betrayal of those women who don't get reservation for SC/ST OBC? Why are you avoiding caste census?
That is what I am saying. It was a betrayal for the last.
Yes, sir, ma'am. Amit Shah. I said, ma'am, fair, but not fair what?
Last, ma'am. Amit Shah, I said.
Amit Shah said that there are 120 constituencies.
1 and 2 will come.
Amit Shah said there are 120 constituencies that have a population of over 25. In fact, the Malkangiri is listed also that it has 48 less people. You may have some reservations about demilitarization, but do not believe that it is the need.
Actually, no, actually. I don't. I believe that that is the way it is being sold. And the limitation of seats of 20, 30, 40 has been done before. But a complete overhaul of Parliament and that too in the hands of people who tend to have disregard for institutions, who tend to weaken every institution, including the Election Commission. How can you expect us to support this? It is not possible for anybody who loves democracy, who loves this country, to support such a thing.
Yes, Neeraj.
Ma'am suggested. After Neeraj,
You say, you yourself suggested that this was the recent delimitation actually was not for women reservations. So in such a situation, now the question arises that perhaps the number of seats should not be contested on 543. They want to contest on 850. So do you think they feel jittery about fighting on 543? Since you guys achieved 235, which is like India has 235, which is like India has 235 and they have 240.
No, I don't think they feel jittery about fighting 543. I think firstly, the men are trying to reserve their own seats. Right? So that their 5 out of 543, their seats don't go to women, including...
ma'am.
Possible, yes, after all, we are living a patriarchy. So firstly, there is that issue. Secondly, as I said, we can't trust them with delimitation. Because their attempts that we have seen in Assam and in J&K has been completely designed in a way that they should win. Designed in a way that it benefits them. So how can we trust them with that?
Ma'am, yes, dear.
Mom Neeraj, I'm from News 18 in India.
In Congress's assessment, do you think the government lacked the numbers because a 2/3 majority was required in the House? So what was the government's primary objective in introducing this bill?
I think the primary objective was to do something that would make us the saviors of women. If the bill doesn't pass, we'll go door to door and say, this is anti-women, and look, we were trying to do something for you, but they didn't let us. If it passes, we'll become saviors. Anyway, I don't know, that's what my female mind says.
Ma'am. Mohit Dubey from ABP News.
Where are you?
Okay, ma'am. My question is, you said you're not against women's reservations, you're against delimitation. But on the other hand, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NDA said, no, you're anti-women, you're against women's reservations. My question is, have you held a meeting today? What did you decide in the meeting? Was it also decided that you would meet with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and demand proper women's reservation be implemented in all 543 seats? If he doesn't agree, what should you do next? Is there any hope of meeting the president as well?
Look, nothing was decided in today's meeting about who to meet and who not to meet. It was definitely decided that we all agree that if they bring back the 2023 bill, it has already been passed. If they bring it back and want to make some minor amendments so that it can be implemented by the 29th, we are completely with them. We are completely with them. We will all say this. We will say it together and from every platform. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.